Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking a look through the second half of my vintage Miscellaneous UK paperback collection. So these are all sorts of publishers which I don't really collect en masse, but they're just ones that have ended up in my collection, and that's what we'll be looking at today. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look. Okay, so we start off with this one, which is an Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, The Mariko Deep. And this one is a John Murray paperback. It's the only one of these I've got. It's really sort of sturdy covers and quite thick paper as well. I think it's a 1960s release, as I recall. This edition, 1961. So not one of his more famous Sherlock Holmes ones, but quite a nice cover. And the underwater sort of theme there, I wonder if that came out as a bit of a response to the popularity of the Disney Jules Verne 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Just a suspicion. Next is a few from a publisher called Kimber. Now, I don't know much about Kimber Books, in all honesty. I don't believe these are numbered. It's just the publisher. So first published as a Kimber Pocket Edition, 1959, William Kimber and Company. And I don't think they were around very long, and I've only got like a little handful in my collection. And as far as I can recall, I think they're all sort of wartime themes. Here's one here, Commander, a Kimber Pocket Edition. This is a Kimber from 1955. This one is missing the bottom of the spine there, and it's not like it's gone for good. It's not like it's just come away. But because you don't come across these very often, I'd sort of keep them in any condition, in all honesty. This is one from 57. Yeah, quite the worse for wear, that, but it is what it is. It's another one. Jewel Under the Stars. Got a nice jacket, that one. I wouldn't say they were the best produced books. This is 58. So they were around for a few years. But looking at the actual quality of them, I'm not surprised they haven't really survived that well. Alert in the West. Now this one appears to be, yeah, look, it's come away. It's right, it's sort of in two blocks. It's got a pricing, $9.98. I don't think that was the price somehow. That may have been when whoever got it first picked it up, possibly. That may be like signifying September 1998. So anyway, that's that out, but we're going to need to re-glue this block here. So in actual fact, if we have it like that, we can actually run some glue along both edges there, and hopefully you'll get it put back together. But it's so severe, you know, I'm not holding my breath. It's not going to keep it there forever. It's just going to sort of stop it getting any worse more than anything. But as I said, I'll keep this one simply because these Kimber books just don't really turn up. Although, saying that, once again, it's not something I've ever sought to try and find. Oh, I thought, I must jump on eBay and get some Kimber books. It's just ones that have ended up going into the collection as part of other collections, like an odd one here, an odd one there. But yeah, I mean, it was going to take a miracle, in all honesty, to sort that out properly. But it will do as a filler more than anything else. But yeah, it's quite a nice jacket, actually. It's got a spot of pencil on the back as well. It really has been through the ringer. This one, I suspect it's come through a charity shop, or it was possibly picked up at a boot sale. I don't know how I ended up with it, but it's not one I would have picked up in that condition. It's probably just ended up coming in a collection of some sort. And I've sort of kept it with the other Kimber titles. Here's another one here, Open the Forts. That's quite a nice jacket as well. The exciting story of human minesweepers. Quite a bit of tanning on this one. A first Kimber 1960. Blimey O'Reilly. So it looks as if they were around for about 4, almost 5 years, which is even more astonishing that I've only got, this is the last one I've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 books. I just don't think they could have published that many, or they just didn't sell. I mean, who can tell? But I don't know a lot about Kimber Books, so if you've got any sort of knowledge, I'd be very interested. And look, this one, 1961. Incredible. Flagship to Murmansk. Cool. Well, that's all the Kimbers. Now we got a few Mayflower paperbacks. Now I picked up a few of these recently in the science fiction lot, but they've not. That sci-fi lot has not been amalgamated into my main collection because I haven't catalogued them yet. So, because I did pick up some Mayflowers SF recently, but this is what I had prior to it. Now, the only reason I've kept this one is because it's very, very low grade, is because it's Jack Kerouac. I'm quite a noted sort of beat author. Very collectible as well. Author on the Road was his most famous one. And this is the first Mayflower Dell from 1966. Yeah, that was On the Road was his most famous one. Subterraneans and the Dharma Bums. I think they were the 3 to look out for, but that's an unusual one for sure. This is a P.G. Wodehouse, a very unusual title to come from Mayflower, but I like P.G. Wodehouse as an author. And this is one that Penguin didn't have the rights for. I guess that's why it came out as this Mayflower. Around this sort of time, 1968, yeah, around this sort of time, there was a P.G. Wodehouse series on BBC, and Wodehouse was riding quite high. This is possibly why that one came out. Now here we are, Mayflower Sci-Fi, Mayflower SF, Apollo at Go. Jeff Sutton, quite a nice cover, that one. I see it's got a bit of sticker on the front cover there. (1964). So I'm going to have a go and see if I can tease this bit of sticker off. Oh, it's looking like it's going to be quite stubborn. Actually, it's not too bad. The thumbnail's getting underneath it. That actually wasn't too painful. So it's left a little bit of sticky residue, but that will be quite easy to get off with some polish in a minute. Here's another SF one here. Henry Kuttner, Return to Otherness. That's a real 60s jacket, that one, isn't it? Wowee. (1965). There's that. Island of Fear, William Sambrock. This looks like 14 short horror stories. It's like a horror anthology. They're always pretty cool. I don't have many of them. I mainly got SF ones. but it's all by the same author, so it's all a collection of his short stories. 1964. I think what we'll do, before we go any further, we'll just give these the brush. So we'll sort them into a few smaller piles here, like so. Now use my soft shoe brush, and we'll just get this, the top edges and stuff done. Because as you know, that's where it picks up the dirt. Few dirty edges here, including that Kurak, so I'm hoping this lightens it up. It has. Lovely. Cracking on with the Mayflowers here. So we got the last few of these. Task of Destruction. Michael Barrett. Civil War torn country. In 1964. There's another little compilation here. Alfred Hitchcock. 14 suspense stories to play Russian roulette by. So there was absolutely stacks of these Alfred Hitchcock anthologies. He would read a lot of them himself, and he personally picked some to be made into little half-hour shows, a bit like the Twilight Zone that he did, the Alfred Hitchcock show. 1964, this one. Sometimes like that one there, he'd write a little introduction for. Passionate Prodigy. Prodigality. Guy Chapman. World War I title. Nice condition this by the look of it. A little bit dusty. 1967 for that one. That's got a price inside. Well, 40p and February 98, 2.98. So that may have been when I picked this one up, you know, possibly in a charity shop again, and they dated it to show how long it had been on the shelf. Fairly common practice to keep a track of your stock. Even sometimes brand new books would historically get dated so that the shops knew how long they'd been sat on the shelf. Robert Heinlein, Orphans of the Sky, first time in paperback, it says here. And I quite like Robert Heinlein, so this is alright. 1965, this one. First published as a glance hardback, it says. Another Mayflower Tale, Foreign Legion. I think this is one of the ones I got recently, so that one should be absolutely fine. Yeah, September 66. So that's it for the Mayflower books, and then we got this one, which is my one and only Micron books. Roger Hart Davis. Look at that, In Pursuit of Death. Bit the worse for wear. It's almost like a pulp, isn't it? H.T. Cook. That's in pen at the top there. Wow, 1961. Don't know a lot about Micron books, but it's quite a scarce one. I can put a slither of glue in the top there, just to stop that getting any worse. But that's my one and only Micron book. And as I say, it's more like a pulp rather than an actual novel. But I suppose around this time, sort of mid to late 50s, early 60s, there were a whole host of publishers that were just popping up and chancing their arm a little bit. Pinnacle, this is Edgar Rice Burroughs one. It's Pirates of Venus. I'm not a huge fan of Pinnacle books. There's quite a few, and I know they're quite collectible. I just don't really like them much myself. It's just my personal opinion. This one's not in great shape. Cover's almost detached, but they are quite scarce, and that's quite a collectible author. So it is what it is, an odd one there. This is a British pocketbook, Pickwick Papers, B100, the book of the film, in fact. Selected chapters from Pickwick Papers. But yeah, this is the UK pocket edition. 1952. So obviously Pocket were by this time massive in America as a publisher, and they did have their, a bit like the gold medals we saw last time, they did have their own specific British editions. And this is a quartet to Beat of Drum, which once again was part of that military collection I got recently, so that one's already been cleaned, that one's fine. This is a Red Seal book. Now this is another example of an original American one being imported, and they've covered up the American price with 2 shillings. This does very much look like a gold medal, which has been converted into a British Red Seal. Just see what it says. Yeah, look. Copyright 1952 full set, which is the American publisher's gold medal. And that's just a different one. Instead of it coming out as a gold medal UK, it came out as this Red Seal book. Nice copy of that one. Of interest to gold medal collectors. This is a Superior Books. Now I've got a few of these. Once again, boy oh boy, it's seen a bit of action. The cover has been, ugh, and it even feels pretty awful to hold, unfortunately. Very little that can be done with that. Very, very little. I am going to put just a slither of glue in the top there of the spine, but apart from that, that book is a bit of a dog, unfortunately. But chances are it's actually probably quite scarce, so I'm going to keep it for now. There we are. So I've got the top of the spine re-glued back in, but the cover and that, I mean, it's just a filler until a better one should come along. And I've got another Superior book here, which is this one, Islands in Danger. This is a much better one. Story of the German occupation of the Channel Islands, 1940 to 1945. Got a cover by Sachs. I can just make out his signature down the bottom there. It's a nice edition. Yep, I can just see the page blocks coming away, but I don't want to make it any worse, so I'm not going to try and re-glue it. I'm just going to leave it as is. I am, however, going to pop a slither of glue in the top of the spine there. But without due care, that's actually going to get much worse, so I'm not going to force it open. It's actually quite a nice copy. In all honesty. Right, lovely. I think I'll give these a brush now. Okay. Lots and lots of dust coming off there, but I would imagine it's from that really beaten up old Micron books. A lot coming off this Pinnacle. Lovely. Now, the next publisher we're going to be looking at is called Viking, and this is almost specifically a military publisher, non-fiction, wartime memoirs, that sort of thing. And this one's a Viking war giant, so it's a WG 302, No Time to Die. (1954). And there they are, look, inside. Little list of them: mystery novels, westerns and war. So I don't think I've got much apart from war-related ones, but we'll work our way through. So Wings of the Wind, Paratrooper's one. And that's all right, it's just a little bit of the bottom of the spine there. So once again, we're just going to put a slither of glue on that. That's exactly what we're looking for doing these videos here. Odd little repairs here and there, just make this as good as it possibly can be. sort out the bottom of that spine. Soldier Sail North. Salt in Our Wounds. Looks like Adrift at Sea by the look of it. It says it was originally printed by Consul, but it doesn't give me any details past that. My suspicion is about 1957, 1958. But it's always difficult to tell with some of these. Retreat in the East. Another Viking one here. I think this is my last one. Valley of the Sky. Hubert Skidmore. Okay, that's cool. Now, the next publisher we've got is World Books, WDL. And once again, well, World Distributors, they were most famous. You've probably heard of them because they will publish lots of annuals, TV sort of tie-in annuals. That's probably what they're most famous for. But they did also do their paperback range, and I've had a few in my collection for ages, and I got a few fairly recently in that military lot. Now that one needs a bit of glue. This one's actually pretty rough, in all honesty. This has seen much better days. But I'm just going to put a slither of glue just in the bottom of the spine there. But that one's this one is pretty awful in all honesty. "101 Nights." Here's a big thick one. "The Theory and Practice of Hell." Look at German concentration camps, a horrible subject. And this one's coming away, so I think we're going to need to take the covers clean off this. Yeah, look at that. Didn't take a lot, did it? So what I tend to do when the covers come off like this, I take the opportunity just to brush them. So the two edges that are going to be glued are clean, like so. And then I'm pretty liberal on both bits, so I'll put quite a bit on here. Because it's such a nice clean break, as it were. I did the same on this one as well, particularly at the top and bottoms of the spine. And then just line the two bits up, make sure you get the cover on the right way around. I've done that more than once, put the cover on the wrong way. And it's just confident it's in position, then you can just squish it down, like so. Just keep it in one piece a little bit longer. There we are. Savage Truth, another one looking at sort of German atrocities. fourth printing from March 1961. And look at this. This is on Diana doors, swinging doors. Now it's got a couple of stickers on there, which, in all honesty, look like they've been there forever. And I'm very, very reluctant to have a crack at them. It's not exactly in the greatest of shape anyway. And I think if I start hacking away at those stickers, I think it's just gonna, there's not really going to be any real improvement to it. So apart from a tiny bit at the bottom of the spine, which has come away a little bit, we'll glue that in place. I honestly don't believe there's much benefit in trying to tackle those two stickers, because it's not going to make much difference. The book is already pretty ropey, but it's Diana Dors. She was a real glamour in her day, of course, and a movie star as well. There we are, but let's give these a brush down. So next week I'm going to be doing the second part of my vintage Puffin Story Books, which I've had a couple of new editions recently, so I haven't got them all between number 100 and number 200, but I'm not missing that many now, so looking forward to going through those. That includes the very first paperback edition of The Hobbit, so quite a rarity, that one. Lots of dust coming off here. Some of these I've had for a very long time, and they've never ever been cleaned. So they've naturally picked up quite a bit of dust. Lovely. A few more World books here. So Sword of Bone. That's quite a nice copy. It's got a fairly nice spine on it. This World edition, complete and unabridged, published in 1958. So that's when these are dating from. Pray for the Dawn, Heinrich Pohl. A little worse for wear, this one. That's okay. Fire Mission. Pretty plainish sort of cover, that one. This is nice. This is one that it turned up in the recent military lot. This is what I wish they were all like. That's really nice condition, that one. Return to Crete. See, they're all numbered, so there's hundreds of these, but they just haven't really survived the same way that other publishers have. Look at this, it's interesting, isn't it? This will be a quite collectible one. Viper, the true and terrifying story of a drug addict. It's been read a few times. Stuff to do with drugs and addiction. It's quite a collectible sort of subject, not something that I've ever been attracted to, but they have their fans. The Tyrants. Richard Thompson. Not the greatest of jackets, these, are they? They're not exactly setting the world on fire. Certainly by, comparing that 1960 World Book to a 1960 Pan, they're, a different league, aren't they? Doomsday Morning, C.E. Moore. This is science fiction. Not one I necessarily know, in all honesty. Tiny little bit at the bottom of the spine to glue in. Nothing too much to worry about. Lovely. The Weekend Book of Humour. So this is, I believe, a reprint of one of the old Hutchinson books from yonks back from in the 1930s. Or certainly some sort of compilation of it anyway. A couple of turned over corners here. Once again, they haven't really survived very well, these world books, have they? They've certainly, well, they just seem not very robust. This one I've had a few times before, science fiction cover. It seems fairly common, this one, so I think it must have sold pretty good. 1959 again. No Boundaries. Another quite nice science fiction title. Okay, so let's get these dusted. I've just seen that one there. It's just needs a smidgen of glue in the top of the spine. Didn't spot that first time round. But very, very easy fix there. So that's good. Okay. Last few here. So still, this is World Books became Consul Books. So you see the logo is pretty much the same, but it's changed to Consul Books now, and the numbering is concurrent. It carries on the original world numbering, but for some reason they decided to change their name. Don't know what the reason was behind that, but they did. Another science fiction one here, Rex Gordon, The Worlds of Eklos. Lovely. That's quite a nice cover, isn't it? It's I think it might be a McLaughlin, but I don't know. Dennis McLaughlin. Certainly looks a bit like that. Crime title. No chance. The cover artist is listed, of course. The Real Madrid Book of Football. There we are, a very popular team. When did this come out? Published 1962 as a Consul book. This is one on the Great Train Robbery. Quite a bit of the worse for wear. And the spine has had it. This is very, very rough. I'll probably pick this one up as a reader more than anything. Yes, decidedly iffy, this one. I'm surprised it's even in my collection, because now I'd probably give that one the elbow, in all honesty. Then we got a couple of Fu Manchu books with like these, Sax Romer. And be surprised how many of these there actually are in the series. There's quite a few published. I haven't got them all by any means. This is a Consul edition published 63 and reprinted in 65. Nice jacket though. And another one in this style of jacket, Island of Fu Manchu. Ken Freeman says the cover artist. Big little bit of dust coming off there. Also a 65 reprint. And the last one is an unusual Michael Moorcock, The Russian Intelligence. It's Savoy Books. And these are quite an edgy publisher, this. Published in association with the New English Library, 1980. Brilliant. Okay, let's give these a brush. Lovely. Right, so that's all the books gone through. Now we need to give them a bit of a polish. So let's get that organised now. Okay, so brand new bit of Mr. Sheen, a brand new bit of duster that hasn't been used before. And let's give these a bit of a polish. Now, some will be far worse than others, as is the norm. we get on. Already quite a bit coming off these. Some, if they were done recently, they're going to be fine anyway, but others have never been done, so they're the ones which are going to really benefit from this. Look at that. 6 books. Mentally. This is the one that had the sticker on. Pretty good job there. Nicotine, spot it a mile off. When a spine is particularly yellow like that, you can almost feel it coming off. Been in the house of a smoker, unfortunately. That's why it's yellowed a bit there, but yeah, sign of the times. Really like that one, actually, that's cool. Okay, that's pile number one done. Okay, so cracking on. Some of these we have to be fairly careful with because they're quite tatty copies to begin with, so they're not going to come up that great anyway. Some of these, like this one, I remember where I bought it. It was a second-hand bookshop in Truro. It's like £1 or £2. But I thought, well, that's really interesting. I don't know, I'd seen a British pocketbook before. I've got a few American ones, not many. I quite like them. Let's just is a recent acquisition, so I know this one's in nice condition. So that mock gold medal, a red seal. I wonder what the story was behind that. Wonder indeed. Red seal doesn't have quite the same ring as gold medal, does it? Another fragile little volume. Pretty awful spine, that one. Still got it as good as we can get it. people said Diana Dors was like the British Marilyn Monroe. However, Diana Dors did not die of a drug overdose. She lasted quite into her, at least into her 70s, I believe. Right, that's the second pile done. Okay, so the last little wedge here, and that'll be my British Miscellaneous British paperbacks done for the time being. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Certainly a bit of a mixture. I don't think the books were as nice as last week when we had some of those gorgeous high-grade gold medals, and we had some nice science fiction as well, didn't we? But that's how it comes, you know. You're never quite sure what you're going to get. I'm not really sure until I actually get down and start actually cleaning the books and we go through them. But as I said, systematically they are all being gone through shelf by shelf. If I get a chance, I put in new acquisitions as well into their respective new homes. But hopefully you found it an enjoyable hour or thereabouts looking at some of these old books. As I said, next week I should be digging out my second 100 Puffin Story Books. So we're going to be doing some children's books, so a world away from what we're doing today, but that definitely includes a few gems, some like Paddington books, and we got I said the first printing of the Hobbit in paperback, amongst other things. And all being well, that will be out next Saturday. I've still not quite recovered from COVID, but definitely almost there. I've just got a bit of a cough I can't seem to shake at the moment. Quite a nice one here, actually. Give ourselves a bit of room here. think this one's going to get cover of the day, cover of the video. Let's give it this clean. Very nice. I don't know if it is a McLaughlin, but it's a very, very nice, evocative sort of jacket, that one. So, very nice. Nice one. Yeah, definitely wins this week's best cover. So yes, you have enjoyed today's video, which I hope you have. Do please give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage paperback cleaning videos, and not just paperbacks. I've got the Office back now, which has got my sort of hardbacks and stuff, so I definitely need to give them a spin because they're in a right old state, really. They haven't been looked at for years, and some of them are, you know, the worse for wear. Others aren't too bad. We'll just have to wait and see when we get stuck in. But that's certainly going to be coming up, so I'm going to need to make a start on those fairly soon, I would think. But yeah, thank you very much for watching today. I have enjoyed it, even though the books haven't been the greatest to set the world on fire. They are what they are ultimately, aren't they? And you never quite know what you're going to get. But I've enjoyed looking through them, so I hope you have as well. And as we clean the last one here, I shall look forward to seeing you again next Saturday. Look at that. With another video. Bye.